needs to first of all be rebranded.
First said it's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigerian content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
You think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations start looking at getting their staff involved in this project and buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizens see something. This is SOUQ business landscape.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ Business Landscape, the show where we unpack the big stories shaping the markets, trade, and the economy across Africa and beyond. Today, we look at how African lawmakers are fighting massive revenue leakages, Nigeria's new push to modernize port operations, tax policies that manufacturers say could hurt local industry, and of course, the progress of the banking recapitalization. Plus, we will explore the economic power of digital creators, global currency risk tied to U.S. trade policies, and the EU's latest move on deforestation-linked import. I am Olumide Shokoy. Of course, I'm not the only one here. I have Chooks John Rogers. Morning, Chooks. How you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning, Olumide. It's nice seeing you again after a beautiful rainy yesterday. To everyone out there, welcome to XBL.
Yes, Trump was in the news again. He made a speech and a whole lot of comments were flying. One of the ones that I remembered was he saying he was supposed to read from a prompter, but I think the teleprompter was, maybe the person handling the teleprompter was, I don't know what happened, but he said that I am sure that the person at the, behind this teleprompter is going to be in a lot of big trouble. But that's Trump for you. What do you think?
Trump being Trump, so we did not expect less. Well, the UN also got some side of the bashing, and some other people that are not right now in support of his tariff regime. So hey, it's Trump and his protectionism.
Definitely. We also have a special guest who will be joining us via Zoom. That's Mokhtar Onyi Amin. He is a cultural architect, creative executive, and a public policy advocate dedicated to nation building and sustainable development in Nigeria. With a strong voice on governance and national strategy, he focuses on practical solutions that strengthen institutions, empower citizens, and position Nigeria for global relevance. So we're going on a short break, but before we go on a short break, remember to follow us, like, comment, engage us on our social media, on YouTube at SOUQ News TV. We'd like to hear comments from you. Don't forget, we're on YouTube at SOUQ News TV. Comment, like, and share. So we begin with the first story. Lawmakers from across Africa gathered in Abuja on Monday to discuss strategies for halting annual revenue losses estimated at $587 billion, a challenge the African Development Bank, AFDB, highlighted in May this year. The discussions took center stage at the 8th conference of the African Network of Parliamentary Budget Offices, which opened at the Abuja Continental Hotel. The Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, in his keynote address, described the meeting as timely, stressing that Africa could not afford to continue losing resources to unchecked capital flight. He urged participants to focus on strengthening fiscal frameworks and adopting effective legislation that would improve transparency and block leakages across the continent. Abbas emphasized that robust parliamentary oversight and collaborations among African nations were crucial in protecting public resources and ensuring sustainable development. Delegates at the conference agreed that tackling revenue leakages would enhance economic stability, reduce dependence on external borrowing, and boost continent's capacity to finance key infrastructure and social services. Chooks, one of the things, before we even go into, one of the things I read here was that AFDB has already, shall I say, warned since May, and this is September. Why do we find ourselves here? And do you think that these coordinated reforms would actually stop leakages?
Well, the leakages themselves are things that we've lived with for far too long, and right now we are making it look as if it's a normal thing, as if it's a norm. They are looking at leakages from side of government. But if we're looking at 587 billion as leakage, then that
Yes.
means we are trying to be fair to ourselves because it's way, way more than that. That is well undervalued. If you start looking at countries around Africa, West, East Africa alone, every single day, mineral resources leave Africa. Is way worth more than that. Every single day, we have bloated government across Africa, from the civil servants to the political class. The bloating is way, way too much. We have African countries that spend more catering for their political class than what they actually spend on the budget of the state.
Yes.
So these are issues that they've constantly been on the table, and Africa has been bearing that particular burden. Now, the lawmakers are saying they want to do something about it. If they are waking up now, let's get to see what they have to do and what they can even do in the first place.
Do you think this is more of reform, legislation, or implementation?
Reform, legislation, implementation. Let's also be very direct. The lawmakers themselves are also benefiting from these leakages. Look at their remuneration.
Yes.
In some countries, you get to ask yourself, why do they have this kind of fleet of cars when those particular kind of cars can be assembled in their place?
Yes.
That's part of the leakage. They're talking about capital flight. They are also part of the problem. So it falls on them to also act and also be a watchdog. But the people, we keep saying this, we, the citizens of African nations, we also have to stand up and start taking responsibility to those who've given the right to govern us. 587 billion annually is
a whole lot.
Is a whole lot. But this is nothing compared to what we lose here. Now let's look at government prudence. When budget is announced in any of the African countries, to what extent do we see implementation? To what extent do we see transparency? We have budgets that are running here. You've not finished the
Concurrent
year.
budgets.
The next one is here. You have the next 2-3 years budget running at the same time, but nobody comes to tell you exactly what it is or how it is. These are not normal. Government spending. Now we get to see, okay, Nigeria is saying, okay, good, we have other government agencies that are saddled with making sure that government spending is well scrutinized. How are we seeing that come to play in other African countries? These are things that we want to see. We want to be able to click our system and, okay, good, we budgeted this. This is how much we earn from revenue. This is how much you spent. This is how much you have left. Now you also get to see that when it comes to we Africans, what we send outside Africa, majorly raw materials. Value addition, in most cases, is non-existent. We are losing a whole lot because a lot of those processed materials at the end of the day still come back to us.
Yes.
And we pay, the money we use in selling it in the first place, we now end up using it to buy it back. So these are all avenues of losing money. But are we looking at those particular avenues? They will not ask ourselves this same question of Congo is not far from here. Sudan is not far from here. What's it called? Rwanda is not far from here. Their neighbors are not far from here. What are we losing from these wars going around the states? Who is sitting down to calculate what Africa is losing? And the ripple effect of small arms that are proliferating across these borders. From Libya now is now a living daylight. Libya is there. Now we have small arms getting as far as here in Nigeria, all the way from Libya. These are also economic loss, but are we looking at it from that aspect? It's not just the wars themselves. At the end of the day, people are armed. We call them headsmen. They got armed somewhere. We call them whatever name. We call them terrorists. Robbery, kidnapping across African states. These are all ripple effects of the wars that have opened up. And somebody somewhere that makes these weapons is still supplying them. And they all meet at the UN and talk as if everything is normal. So Africa is at the brunt and receiving part of it. But are we ready to have these conversations truthfully and not just sitting and meeting?
Talking about conversations we're not ready to have, how do you think plugging these gaps would reduce Africa's dependence on foreign borrowing? Because that is a conversation we have not even started to, have or trash, if I may say.
Africa dependence on foreign borrowing is a two-way traffic. Now, there's nothing wrong in borrowing.
Okay.
Let's start with that. But now the question is, what are you borrowing for? So the one you've borrowed, can you account for it? Those that are giving you the funds in the first place, do they have ulterior motives? Are they waiting for you to come and borrow, or they are luring you to come and borrow? At the end of the day, they'll get something back. To what extent do they end up determining what happened in your country by virtue of what they've given you? These are traps that Africa has fallen into. How to get out of that particular debt trap now is where our major issue is. Because we have a lot of weak governments and weak leaders across Africa who, at the end of the day, are just falling back to this same European masters.
Do you think
following their dictates.
we should focus even more on foreign direct investment rather than depending on external borrowing, which favors Africa the most?
Which favors Africa the most? Not the foreign direct investments, not the borrowing.
None favors.
For now,
Yes.
Africa should focus on itself.
But our president is traveling across the world,
Okay.
wooing investors to come.
We have a neighbor that is not far from here. Happened to be Mali,
Yes.
then Niger, then Burkina Faso. Now, we are not talking about how they came to power.
Yes,
That
I
is
was
none
going
of
to
our
go there.
issues.
I actually like them.
Now,
but how they came to power.
let's look at what is happening in those countries. Now, they came back and said, okay, good. What can we get from inside? What has been happening? A lot of the mineral resources in Africa, which happens to be one of the major earners for African nations, are not controlled by Africans. A lot of pacts were signed years ago. Now, these nations have said, no, it's not going to be like this anymore. If you want to deal with us based on what we have here, then you have to deal with us as equals.
Yes.
You come to the market, we tell you the price you want to buy. If you want to buy, good. If you don't want to buy, no. The prices at which they were buying before was exploitation. It was there and obvious, but nobody said anything. ECOWAS has been there for donkey years, and it was a norm because somebody somewhere was pulling the strings. Now we say that things are changing because they are first looking inward. Your savior is not beyond your borders. Our savior is within our borders. If we can't get our acts right inside, then the person outside that is trying to do business and exploit us will not be able to do that. So it's not the white man's money or the World Bank's money or the IMF money that will develop Africa. No. That is the wrong assumption that they've planted in our heads for far too long by training the, in quote, economics outside the country and sending them back to brainwash generations. We have to start inward and bring goods to the market that those outside can buy. It's simple. It's not rocket science.
You know, talking about leakages, even FIRS boss, SOUQ Adedeji, said that I think less than 20% is captured under the tax bracket. How? And, you know, we've always talked about the informal sector, how they've not been able to capture them. But with this new tax reform, do you think that would also take care of a whole lot of leakages and bring a whole lot of people, both the formal and informal sector, under the tax bracket?
Well, the leakage, where I'm looking at the leakage from is not the gathering of the money. It's not the collection of the revenue. It's the spending of it.
Okay.
Or the loss of ability to get it in the first place. Now, we have tax reforms that will kick off January. That's for everybody. For most corporate organizations, it has kicked off already. And we are seeing a lot of improvement, and people are signing up to it. Now, we need a lot of public service announcements. Let people know that, okay, good, this is my country, this is my local government, this is my state. I am going to contribute to building the state. Now, at the back of that trust is also the confidence that the body I'm contributing this money to, where I'm paying this tax to, are going to live up to their responsibility. And be transparent enough to spend wisely, not just spend. We don't just go about and buy a new private jet, no. Or go buy a yacht, no. There are roads to be constructed, but beyond the roads, are they more important than constructing a rail to link farmers? Are they more important than getting farmers up to the board that the federal government have said, okay, good, we have a digital platform right now to register farmers.
Yes.
And get to meet them at the point of their need when it comes to production directly. These are policies that we want to start seeing. A lot of board meetings and a lot of gatherings and conferences are being done on a regular, and we know the amount of monies that are spended in getting all these people. At the end of the day, when these policies are made, how good is the implementation? We want to start seeing this trickle down to the real people, the real sector that will really do the work. The Minister of Agri can travel to China, to Brazil as much as he wants. If the people in the civil service and those in the villages that will get their hands dirty don't sign up to those policies and those works that the government needs to get done, then we have a problem in our hands. These are what we want to start seeing. These are places where we can now start saying, okay, good, this revenue is coming from point A to point B. Tax from Abia State is going to increase based on this number of sign-up from 1 million to 50 billion. You can really budget based on that. We don't want to start seeing fictitious figures anymore.
But Chooks, if you notice also, states have been getting increased allocations. So do you think this has to do with how the government is now spending, talking about trickling down to the people?
Yes, states have been getting increased allocation. We also hear that the local governments are getting the same thing. But the question we should now start asking ourselves, okay, good, what have they done with what they are getting? The president have said it not once, not twice. Hold your governor, hold your local government
Responsible.
respond. But now, how many of us have gone beyond that saying to ask them questions? Okay, good. In the last 4 or 5 months, you've gotten way more than 10, 15, 20, 30% more than what you used to get before. Local government autonomy went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, give them their money. Are we really doing that? So party men, are you allowing that to happen? So local government chairman, are you getting your money? So if you are getting your money, I will now ask you a straight question. Why is the road in Etios bad? Why couldn't people get home till 2 a.m. yesterday because of
quite tragic?
So when we start holding people accountable to this, that is when we now say, okay, good, that these leakages are being blocked because what these monies are supposed to be used for, they are used for. And not everybody looking at Abuja, whereas your problem is not too far from you. So we will pay our tax, but we will also ask questions. That is the way forward.
So the way forward also now, how do you think reduced leakages would impact funding on infrastructure and social services?
Okay.
Would it actually?
Definitely. If Tinubu has 1/10 of this, 50 billion, he won't go borrowing. He won't go, definitely he won't go borrowing.
But I heard we saved a whole lot of money. We don't need to borrow.
On paper.
On paper.
Yes. Okay. We saved mean that we did not spend again. Okay, we're supposed to spend on subsidy based on, okay, you bring, government reduces the price, and for the people who now pay the difference. We are not paying that difference anymore. It didn't mean that we had that money cash somewhere. True. Good. So let's all of us be on the same page. Now, that particular ability to stop this leakage, let's start from the top. They say the buck stops at the table of the head man, the head boy, the leader. Let's start from the top. Cut down the amount of money spent in funding, getting politicians and aides, whatever name you want to call them. Let's be direct. Let's reduce the amount of cost, expenses spent on that cadre. Let's reduce the amount of monies we spend leaving this country. There are things people don't want to talk about, but let's ask a simple question. The VP went to the United Nations. Okay, good. What stopped the VP from going with his office alone? For everybody that went there to go welcome him, who are you welcoming? Did they reside there? Let's cut down on government spending. Let's cut down on what we are losing on issues that do not concern us. Once the people notice that, good, the government is not spending as much as it used to be in the past. Now it's a history, but yes, it's a culture that has been passed down.
Sorry to come
we
in.
should not continue it.
I remember there was a directive, or an order President Tinubu gave, that for ministers and the rest of them, they would require some sort of approval for them to travel out for any seminar and all that. Is that still effective?
Yes, definitely it's still there. Now, for training, there are some kind of training that you need to take people away from their environment.
Okay, like the UN?
There are several kind of training. You need to take them away from their environment. Let their minds open up and see what is obtainable and what is visible elsewhere. So that you won't be surrounded by the dirt and the everydayness of your regular activities that will be cloud and stop what is supposed to be passed across to you. So take the person away from the environment. So for those kind of trainings, there are always waivers to those ones. But now let's look at being able to say, good and fine, how do we stop leakages from drain pipes that have always been there?
Big question.
Solid minerals, oil and gas. Over the years, we've known there's a lot of issue there. Loss, be it theft. Loss, be it wrong metering. Loss, be it unaccounted for badges. Or we know it has always been there.
Yes.
How do we stop that? The president and this administration have been trying their best to do stuff, increasing the output, but how do we put a complete stop to? We might not be able to put a complete stop, but how do we stop that? Now,
do you think we can actually stop oil bunkering also?
Definitely we can. Definitely we can. Definitely we can. It's just is the political will to do it. If tomorrow you know that if my uncle should steal from government coffers, my uncle is going to die. If they appoint your uncle as a...
We're not in China. We're not in China.
Now you see, we are not in China, but you want to emulate them. You want to emulate their economy. I don't know if you understand. You want to emulate the economy. Now let's go further. If tomorrow you see that, okay, good, if my uncle should do this, he's not only going to go for it, but his property and his children will pay for it. People will sit up. So aside value change, we also need to get these policies up there so that even the person that is putting the policy and making those laws know that I can also fall prey. So that way we see government's money not as everybody should come and take when is your period.
All right, well, we hope that this gathering of African leaders would yield something and we would actually stop these leakages. There's a whole lot of leakages we need to stop and start to see trickle down, see impact of funding on infrastructure and social services across Africa, and also somehow, hopefully, stop dependence on external borrowings. Let's move on to the next story. The Nigerian Customs Service, NCS Apapa Port Command, is set to significantly boost cargo clearance capacity with the expected arrival of 3 brand new scanners, which will enable the command to examine 200 containers per hour. The development marks a major step towards faster cargo handling and reduced delays at Nigeria's busiest seaport. Disclosing the plan in Lagos yesterday, the area controller of Apapa Command, Controller Oluwadari Oshoba, said the deployment of scanners will transform port operations and enhance trade facilitation. According to him, the new system will not only fast-track clearance, but also improve efficiency, transparency, and revenue generation for government. Oshoba urged port stakeholders and users to prepare for a more seamless cargo examination process, stressing that the service was determined to align with global best practices. He assured importers, exporters, and logistics operators that improved system will reduce human interference, curb corruption, and strengthen Nigeria's competitiveness in international trade. Jokes, we have 3 new scanners. Would this be enough? Would it actually reduce corruption? It says per hour it will scan 200 containers. How feasible is this?
There's always a good time to start. So if we start now, it's good for us. But at least let's start first. Let's not still wait and depend on the manual, open up,
Yes.
pack it out. It's cumbersome. It's time wasting. Sometime earlier this week, the Nigerian custom also said, good, we are going to go beyond just doing the normal day activities. We're also going to start night clearance. This, I see, is part of issues and part of activities that the custom is trying to get more efficient. Time, they say, is the money. If I know very well that if I bring or trying to export containers or goods through Apapa or Nigerian port, and I know that the time I'm going to spend there has been reduced from a week to 4 days or from 4 days to 2 days,
Yes.
I will want to do business there. I will worry less of going to the neighboring country, which is not too far from us, which we see a lot of people do, and shippers also do. Now, we need to make our port competitive. We need to make our port enticing for major shipping lines to want to come here. Let other nations that are close to us use our own port as transloading to their own ports. That brings and gives us more revenue, and the custom is poised to do that. We are saying, okay, good. If these scanners are coming, let's see how fast the people can learn and be better on it. Then how can we now improve and have more of them?
Yes.
So that we can have more goods being cleared, be it those exporting and those importing. We need to see efficiency. We're still talking about leakages. This is one of them. Time wasting is another major leakage in governments. It's money, a whole lot of money. So if custom is going this route, it's a plus plus.
Do you think technology alone will solve Nigeria's corruption and inefficiency at the port?
Well, when we
And
say
will it reduce human interference?
yes, reduction in human interference is a major one. Because if I know very well that I'm not going to see you face to face, it's the product versus the machine.
Yes.
So I am seeing what you're seeing most time. I know what I'm bringing in. So until there is a red flag before we can now say, okay, good, no, manual inspection. Or no, you did not quote well. Or you did not invoice well. Or you did not declare well. Based on what we've seen. Then we'll now have human interaction. Then we'll now have fines. If possible, seizures. But first, let's just have that straight tech machine to goods inspection. You declare before the goods even get there, because right now custom is following goods right from port of delivery, port of export down this way. So
Okay.
it makes their work easier, faster, and better, and easy for government to get their revenue.
Okay.
Whatever form of duties you are being paid or whatever waivers you're getting, you know that as fast as your goods are getting here and they are cleared, they are leaving the port. The era of port congestion should be a thing of the past. We should, before this administration leaves, port congestion should be a thing of the past. Another thing I will be advising is those rails that used to work at the port, we need to bring them back. Some of the rails, if you look towards what's it called, towards Surulere, heading that way, have been fixed.
Okay.
Let's have those ones exiting the port and coming into the port to be fixed. So the man from Kaurana Moda or the guy from Ilesha or Ibando, he doesn't need to bring a truck to Lagos. Once he clears his goods, you lift it and put it on the rail, and it heads to him wherever he is. It reduces the time spent. It reduces the money he has to pay for logistics. It reduces the accidents on the road.
Traffic. If it
traffic
breaks
on
down.
the road. Not even just the truck. Other people plying the road. So that way, government also saves a lot more on road rehabilitation on the regular. A lot of people are wondering and shouting the Lekki-Ekpe road. Is it another issue that is also bringing issue, apart from the rains, is the amount of trucks that have, of late, thanks to the seaport on the other end, that have started plying that road. So people on that axis, dear governor, please wake up. We need you there like yesterday.
No, I don't mean to sound like the devil's advocate. Technology, yes, will give accurate results, but it's still humans that would man this? So do you think that, that's why I asked that human interference is also what we need to look at? Because yes, a lot of people have complained about the corruption going on at the ports and all that. So do you think that humans will not still manipulate these machines? And also, will it increase or reduce import duties? Because technology is coming in.
Import duties are import duties. They are there already. So before you even import or export, whatever duties you have or whatever waivers you are entitled to, they are there already on the papers. So the technology is just to make things more seamless, faster, and aid both you and customs. Now, will it reduce corruption? Yes, it will reduce corruption. But let's also note this. There are bad people. You can't take that away. People say there are a lot of tribes in Nigeria. I disagree. There are people from different cultures, but I look at people based on two things. There are good people and there are bad people. And they are in every strata and every culture and every tribe and every religion. The same thing you have in customs. But we won't be looking at the bad eggs in that particular organization and won't do or look at them from the right side of the prison.
Yes.
Technology, we aid their services, we aid their job, which will make it faster. Technology will also make it easier for you if you're flagged to also ask for, okay, good and fine, show me. And you can also escalate easier.
Yes.
Based on availability of evidence that whoever is bringing in and you know that, okay, no, this is false. It's easier for you to escalate. And thanks to social media too.
Yes.
So if you are escalating on that side, you can also, if you want it to go public, you can also escalate directly. And there are direct lines right now to the comptroller generals of major zones.
Yes.
So you can also reach them directly. We should see less issues at ports of entry, seaports, airports. We should start seeing less issues based on less human interaction.
All right. So I'm also looking, will this automation reduce jobs in the sector, or will it create new ones?
Well, custom personnel are custom personnel. It won't reduce. It will reduce. We don't even have enough of them. We don't have enough of them in the first place. So right now, what we'll be looking at now is more skilled custom personnel, because we will need people to be able to not just man the scanners, but we now need them to add some other form of ingenuity in being able to, okay, these scanners are coming from outside Nigeria.
Yes.
900%. Okay, now, if we say we're going to have these scanners for 4 or 5 years, how can we now start producing something like this?
True.
So these are the kind of thoughts I want to start coming from government organizations. If we know we're going to be using this kind of things, okay, if we can't produce, how can we get them to start producing it here? Okay, we might not need big scanners that can scan containers. What about the small scanners that can scan goods on the go in vehicles? So these are trainings and skills we need to start looking for. Okay, how do we start acquiring them across board? Not just waiting for somebody somewhere to develop something.
Yes.
As these equipments are coming towards your sector or where you work, you learn how to use it. But in the long run, okay, how can we start getting our government and our people to produce something that this equipment will use? So we will definitely need more manpower in customs, not less manpower.
So how will this improve our global competitiveness and, of course, logistic trade?
Time is time. One major thing China prides itself and the Arab nations pride themselves is their ports.
Definitely.
They will tell you, as long as what you are bringing in have no issues, in 24 hours you are rolling in, you are rolling out. We have time frames for ships, not even just containers. For ships coming into the harbor, they have time frame. You're coming in, you have this amount of hours to come in and leave. For another ship to come in and leave. So this is efficiency. If we are looking at being able to grow the $1 trillion economy that we are looking for, we need to be able to export more, produce more, and also, sadly, import more.
Yes.
So now, if all this has to happen, there has to be a whole lot of new level of efficiency within the customs.
Efficiency. I'm looking at exports of perishable goods. Will this improve the wait time? We're being told a month, 21 days for perishable goods.
Now, it depends on the perishable goods. It's always good to make comparison. For those that are wondering, Kenya exports flowers. Some other East African countries in that corridor, they export flowers. Flower is not just a perishable good. It's in hours. So you imagine if Jara encumbrances and a farmer brings his blossom flowers to export to Europe, and somebody somewhere is playing some foul game. I don't know if you understand. So
yes.
If these countries can export in matter of hours, it's right from where it's coming from the farms, the clearing is done, whatever grading is done, before it's getting to the port of export, mostly they fly. It's cleared, duties are paid, levies or whatever is done, and the flowers are leaving. And this is not just maybe one time, no, it's irregular. We need to get to that amount, that precise point of efficiency. Where if I am taking yam out of this country, and maybe I'm not adding value to it, okay, it's just yam. Okay, there are Nigerians in the UK, they will eat yam. There are Nigerians in... If I can't export the yam with that, then I should process it just the way we are processing potato chips and bringing it into this country.
True.
So we should grow to that extent where the efficiency should not keep anything we are taking out of this country, not even 0.0001% of its expiry date. We should never have a case where what is trying to be exported expires at the point of export. We should never ever have that. If that is in the psyche of every custom official, they won't have issues. Then also, if anybody's goods expires at point of export, the custom should pay for it.
Won't that require a legislation?
Yes, exactly.
Policy?
We should have that kind of policy. If any export expires at the point of export, customs should pay for it. Things would change drastically.
If the fault comes from customs, not
the fault cannot. Now see, this is where the issues. If we are exporting anything, before it even gets to point of export, for point of taking off, now every agency must have cleared shelf life, quality, standard.
Yes.
Before it gets here. So it's not at the point of export those things should be happening. So these are where customs should also say, no, standard organization, you are not at the port for export. You should have a place where whoever is exporting what should get his clearance before getting here. That way, we should also make it very seamless. Not 1,500 agencies following somebody that wants to export cassava flour. It's embarrassing.
Quite interesting. This is a very bold move coming from customs. 3 new scanners. It should aid seamless efficiency, but not just that. We should also look at how we can move export products at the shortest amount of time possible, which means all other standard organizations should be able to be at work. And also we need to also look at logistics, how we can, so that the farmer doesn't have to do anything much. He puts his goods, puts everything on a train, and it goes directly to the customs. And from there onwards, he just has to track it, probably on his phone or on the internet. Don't forget, like, comment, engage us on social media, on YouTube at SOUQ News Television. Let's move on to the next story. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has raised strong concerns over the proposed tax stamp system for accessible products, warning that it could significantly increase production cost for local manufacturers. Now, according to MAN, the additional financial burden threatens the competitiveness of Nigerian-made goods and could force some companies to scale back operations. The association argues that the policy is aimed at curbing smuggling and increasing tax compliance, will ultimately hurt consumers through higher prices. Now, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, already battling inflation and high energy costs, are expected to be the hardest hit if the policy is implemented without broad stakeholder consultation. MAN is urging the government to reconsider the move and instead focus on more efficient tax enforcement mechanisms. The group emphasized that the policies affecting production must support, not stifle, industrial growth, especially at a time when Nigeria is working to revive its struggling manufacturing sector. So, Chicks, do you think this tax stamp system would strengthen compliance, or would it actually cripple local manufacturers?
Now, the tax stamp issue is something that we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. Yes, government needs to heat up and get more revenue. I am 100% in support. But when it comes to production, we should not just drop a policy that is all-encompassing. Let's give an example. The US will always come to cry. EU will always come to shout that China is supporting their manufacturing. Be it incentive, be it tax waivers, be it even direct government injection of funds, to the extent of even devaluing their own money so that their people can produce cheaper and export. So these are what we should be looking at. Now, we are having a lot of textbook policies. A lot of textbook policies. But at the end of the day, if we want to get productive, our focus should be on the small and medium scale enterprises. It should even go beyond that and go to the micro. Now, they are the ones that will employ one person, two people, not state government, not local government. They are the ones that will make sure that their elder sister, uncle, somewhere has food on the table because he has to work and earn 1,500, 2,000, 5,000 every day. Now, if we look beyond tax and see how can these people grow, how can these small micro businesses grow, what are the things that we have? Now, on that same tax reforms, there are a lot of things on that particular reform that takes them away from paying tax. But now let's get to the real side of it. On the ground, when you get to their business premises, are they really paying those taxes? Yes, they are. When you get to their business premises, are they paying to move goods and service around? Yes, they are. When you get to their business premises, what is happening? These are things that both local, state, and federal government need to start looking at. Not in the big offices in Abuja, not in the hotel conferences. We need to get on ground and see. The US said just some days back that every single mail coming is going to pay, not what it used to be before. So we as a people now start asking ourselves, okay, how is it going to affect the normal local businesses? Because they are the major ones using the postal services. We are also looking at how can every single business not just produce for Nigeria, but be able to, okay, how can I produce for Ghana? How can I produce for Canada? There are Nigerians scattered all over the place. So before the white man start looking for your goods, we might be able to satisfy our African brothers outside Africa. That way we are bringing dollar back home. Not depending on NNPC or depending on Dangote. Those small $100 here, $1,000 there, they go a long way in the economy. But now we need to start asking ourselves specific questions. Like I say again, not in those conferences, but on the ground with the real people working day and night to get a business and make a living. How can we get them off any way or any tax that is stifling their business? And how can they grow from being a micro to a small one, from a small one to a medium one, from a medium one? How can they be a big business?
So do you think this tax stamp could actually discourage investment in Nigeria's manufacturing sector? I mean, if this is...
investment, it now depends on what we are looking at as investment. Tax stamp, Dangote doesn't have a problem with tax stamp.
Well, that's Dangote.
Unilever doesn't have a problem with tax stamp. The big companies have no problem with tax stamp. They can always go and talk it through, whatever. But what about the small companies? What about the woman making Ankara in Abeokuta?
Definitely.
What about the tailor sewing kaftan in Sokoto? Mind you, he's still going to pay the local government. When his goods are on the road plying, he's still going to pay. No, well, we might not know who they are paying to, but they know that they definitely will pay. So for those that have shops in Alaba, they pay every morning. The woman carrying things on her head,
the hawkers, yes,
they pay every day. So these are things that we say, okay, good and fine. A lot of these policies are nice, but now how is it going to affect small businesses? So we keep asking and keep saying, come to the grassroots, see these businesses, how they are thriving, and let's know what should be knocked off for them.
So what alternative policies do you think could balance, tax collection and industrial growth?
Industrial growth, now, you can't take from somebody what he doesn't have. A particular governor in this new dispensation, when they inaugurated, he said, okay, good. I'm going to tax you. You are going to develop the state, but not now.
Yes, he did so.
The first thing I'm going to do is let's make the environment positive for you to do business. If you can do this kind of business, go to so and so bank who have put this money there. Go and collect that money and start doing your business. If you can trade, go there. If you transportation, go there. Those collecting money in the parks, leave that place. I give you 6 months. Your business should be profitable by now. You should be able to start paying back. After that period, we'll come and start collecting tax. So we can't put tax in front when there's no productivity. It doesn't work. The people will rebel. So we put productivity in front. Make them productive. Get them actively involved in jobs. Let them be able to produce, sell something. Let them get to an office and work. Then tax comes in. That's what the president said. He said, we're not going to tax the seed. We'll tax the fruit. Now, the president should follow up on his word and make sure that those that are bound to implement this don't tax the seed.
Thank you very much. Let's put productivity forward before tax comes in. We'll move on to our next story. 14 Nigerian banks have successfully met their new capital requirements set by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, as part of the ongoing banking sector recapitalization exercise. The initiative, launched to strengthen the financial system and support economic growth, mandates higher minimum capital thresholds for different categories of banks operating in the country. According to official sources, the banks met the new requirement through a combination of retained earnings, fresh capital injections, and strategic mergers. The recapitalization drive aims to ensure Nigerian banks are better positioned to withstand economic shocks and finance larger-scale investments. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso praised the progress, emphasizing the importance of a resilient banking sector for national development. The recapitalization process is expected to conclude in 2026, with more banks working towards compliance. Analysts believe that the move will boost investor confidence and improve financial stability, though challenges remain for smaller banks struggling to meet targets. Chooks, yes, it's good that these banks have money, they've been able to meet targets. But now let's look at how they can now give back through loans and investments. How do you think these banks are doing right now? For someone who wants to trade, or a farmer who just needs small, incentive or something to push him, do you think these banks are helping where they are supposed to, help?
Now, they are supposed to help. They are supposed to be one of the major drivers of the economy. Sadly, they are driving their economy. They are driving their economy. Banks in Nigeria are one of the most profitable businesses. It doesn't matter what is happening, they are declaring profit. It doesn't matter how, where, when.
Year on year.
The chief executives are smiling home and the shareholders are smiling home. Should it be so? Yes, but it shouldn't be so at the expense of businesses.
Yes.
Because commercial banks are majorly there to power businesses. So we need to also start seeing what government is pushing. Let them not also push it, like I always say, in conference rooms. Let's see them push it directly in the field. Now, the CBN has come down and said the MPR, the interest rate has come down to 27 from 27.5. We are looking forward to one day, by God's grace, in our lifetime, see it go beyond 2%.
Definitely.
Now, can it happen overnight? Definitely no, it's not going to. That's not possible. But over time, let's see that happen. Now, the lesser the interest rate, the more businesses can thrive.
Yes.
The lesser the interest rate, the more banks will be able to say, okay, good and fine, we have more money. Who wants to take it? But now we also ask ourselves this question: the risk involved, that is what they will say. Is it there? Definitely, yes, it's there. The banked and the unbanked. The bank is not giving people bank money. It's people's money bank is giving people.
Yes.
So now we also start asking questions. Okay, dear banks, aside you opening up and selling shares and getting recapitalization to 500 billion, can your 500 billion fund Lagos Calabar Coastal Road? So these are some questions that we've asked ourselves on another side. We'll just smile. The answer is no. We still have to go outside and get some other facilities outside this country. So we want to see those mega banks. I am not a proponent of generalizing banks. Let's have banks, yes, but let's also have mega banks. They shouldn't be on the same pedestal. Federal government is saying, CBN is saying 500 billion capitalization. Make it $2 billion capitalization, $10 billion capitalization. Categorize it. Some would strive to meet it. And those particular ones can say, okay, good and fine. Tomorrow we are going to fund a full oil company. In order Dangote, you don't need to go outside looking for CBN to give you money. We can fund it. And we'll match CBN interest. So these are what we want to start seeing. We want to see banks that the shareholders own more shares than the chief executives of the banks.
Do you think we'll ever get to see that?
Well, it's just a matter of time. We want to get to a place where you control a bank not just because you own 30-50% shares of it, because you own 5% shares of it, or you own 2.5% shares of it. That way we have stronger institutions. That way we have banks that are more oriented to helping businesses because they have the financial flow they can risk. And not prioritizing politics to give money to a politician to go and contest the election.
So what risk remains when we still have smaller banks who are lagging behind? What risks do you think remains for smaller banks who are yet to meet the target? Do you see a merger? Do you see...
Yes. Now, you see, this is where we were talking about the kind of licenses you give to bank and just make it a plain ground. No. It's a small bank, let it be a small bank. If the bank, we have microfinance banks.
Definitely.
If it's beyond the microfinance bank, we can have local government bank, we can have state banks, we can have regional banks. That way, if the bank cannot meet 500 billion, no problem. We'll stay where you are. We're not downgrading you, but don't go beyond your state.
Yes.
Don't go beyond your region. Cater for people in that place. Technology is coming up right now, so it's not like the era where you see bank and banking halls every 2, 4, 5 meters. If we take a poll and ask people when was the last time you went to a banking hall, I'm very sure some people have not gone to a banking hall in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And that is also going to continue. So asset acquisition is just maybe majorly for real estate for banks, not majorly as banking halls anymore. So let's see banks that are focused on business growth, which is their primary call.
So do you think that recapitalization, does it guarantee actual resilience, or is just bigger institutions?
Yes, bigger institutions, resilience is supposed to, but now the resilience is going to majorly be born on management. So it doesn't matter how capitalized you are, if you have bad management, they will cripple that bank. We've seen examples all through the year, from those that could turn water to wine, to those that were your first call when it comes to the green chambers people. We've seen it doesn't matter their capitalization. If the management is not well scrutinized by CBN without favors, it will go down. So management is still key. Now, CBN has come up to bring up a whole lot of policies from the last NPR meeting, and we've seen that, okay, good and fine. They've reduced the amount of savings the banks can do with the CBN. They've made banks more liquid. That's good. Interest rate has been reduced. That's good. Now, a lot of this is trying to see that the banks can do business with business people. But let's get to see that happen. Let's see a case where the bank can give a loan, not 6 months, not 3 months, not 1 year. Give business people loans for, since you are giving them an interest of 27, give them loans for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And don't come knocking on the door until you've done your service on that loan. That is to the banks. Not when the industry itself have not even stood. You come knocking on the door. Where is he going to get the money to pay you?
Talking about that, credit facilities, microfinance banks, are they really financing the micro business? Do you think they are actually doing that?
Yes, they are. Yes, some of them are. But we are seeing a case whereby a lot of microfinance banks are being used as loan sharks too.
Yes.
So we see a lot of cases where we see CBN is saying 27%, and somebody is giving somebody loan for 50,
even
60,
more than that,
70%
yes,
for a period of 1 week.
1 week.
And now we ask, dear regulatory authorities, where you see these things happening, you see them happening, we can't grow an economy like this. It's not possible.
Well, I think the FCCPC they are doing a whole lot. They've told some of these loan sharks and the rest of them to come register, first of all, for them to operate. So I think I've been seeing a lot of directives and circulars, So they are also trying, but, what can we also do? What can CBN also do? Do you think that banks should also try as much as possible to push for a lower interest rate? Or are they just comfortable? Because
the bank can't push for a lower interest rate because it's favoring them. Left for the bank, they will tell CBN to give us 100%.
100%.
It's their profit. The banks would never.
But whichever way, whether higher interest rate, low interest, they will still make profit.
Yes, they will make profit, but the higher the interest rate, the more profit they make.
Profit.
So, for microfinance bank, I will want to see during. I'm trying to remember the administration. A lot of focus was on microfinance bank. I want to see this administration go back to that that template. Let's see more of microfinance banks thriving. Let's hold people accountable. Just the way we have the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance should be able to trickle down to the State Minister of Finance, trickle down to whoever is the local government secretary in finance, where microfinance banks are held accountable and make sure they are growing, and make sure they have access to CBN funds when it comes to interventions, not the normal commercial banks. CBN interventions, agri interventions, poverty alleviation interventions should go to microfinance banks. They are the ones that are closer to the people.
To the people.
They are the ones that are in the market, in the local market. These are avenues where Musa that doesn't need to go fill up any form because the marketer in the microfinance bank knows Musa's house. He knows Musa's farm. Probably he has even bought cassava or onions from Musa before. He is confident and comfortable giving Musa 500,000 naira for Musa to work, knowing fully well that Musa is already winning. That is Musa there. Not the big bank somewhere that are going to tell Musa, sorry, go and bring affidavit from your late father's wife's
Land.
So let's empower microfinance bank, not just as business ventures, but as intervention portals for government interventions. Now, we've talked about a whole lot of injection of money in for the agricultural sector. If we ask, okay, now, which of the microfinance banks are directly linked to these interventions? You'll be surprised that you won't see any of them. So how are the real farmers going to directly benefit from this? Because they're not asking you for they are not asking you for handouts in the first place. They just want a place where they can go to. If they need financing, they get that financing. If it's long-term, if it's assistance, they can always get it. I've seen several microfinance banks that will also help with business ideas and help you in even keeping your books. They are close there. They are the everyday people that the normal business people see. So let's see that growth in that particular sector. It will go a long way to get us more productive.
All right, it will go a long way to get us more productive. We'll move to the next story. YouTube content creators contributed a significant £2.2 billion to the United Kingdom economy in 2024. Now, according to a new report highlighting the growing economic impact of digital creator industry, the platform also supported around 45,000 full-time jobs across various sectors, including media, marketing, production, and tech services. The report commissioned by YouTube shows that both individual creators and small production companies are generating income through advertising revenue, brand partnerships, merchandising, and fan support. Educational and entertainment and lifestyle content led the way in terms of engagement and revenue generation. The findings underline how platforms like YouTube are transforming traditional media and offering viable career paths for individuals and businesses. Industry experts say the creator economy is now a key part of United Kingdom's digital landscape, contributing to innovation and entrepreneurship. Chooks, how can Africa also build on this? I know, yes, we have creators.
Yes, we have creators.
We have a whole lot of them, and they're cashing in.
We have creators, and the question we'll now ask ourselves is, our government, do they really see them as part of the GDP earning percentage?
I think they're about to tax them too.
It's not just taxing them. Now, this is where a lot of things come to play. Some years back, a particular government, the one that was before this, had to ban Twitter.
Yes, that was controversial. It was due to,
Due to?
Yes, we all know what happened. His account was deleted.
The what is it called? Some other people were shouting, ban Facebook.
Yes.
It's not too long ago, some other governments were trying to ration and stop access to the internet. Now, these are things that when you see them happen, you ask yourself this question: who exactly is advising these people? It beats your imagination. It's just like you waking up in the morning and you're looking at your child and saying, your head is growing big, you're not going to school in the next 2 months. So when we see productive energy and we stifle it based on political inclination, it just spells nothing other than stupidity on all levels. Now, 2.2 billion from YouTube alone. The UK, we are 2 times the population of UK. So we consume more than what they will consume. We are the most populous in Africa. And the content that will come from here will transcend Africa. We have tribes that transcend Nigeria. The Hausa cuts from here all the way leading to Libya. The Yoruba cuts from here all the way leading to Brazil. The Igbo cuts from here all the way leading to Equatorial Guinea. Calabar and the other side, they cut from here all the way leading to the Cameroon. So you just imagine if we open up the space and people get creative, imagine what amount of monies we can draw into this economy. The question we'll be asking ourselves is, okay, dear government, what is stopping us from being able to have this data and explore and get our young people active. So the bans, have they helped us?
What
Internet connection, how good is it right now? We are busy giving waivers to the network providers and accommodating poor service on a regular. It won't give us these numbers. So these are give and take. So the government need to see it from that perspective.
Yes.
If we can't get these people busy and let them create content, then we won't be able to generate as much revenue as we think we can.
Yes, yes, getting them busy because they say they are devils, the idle man is a devil's workshop. So do you think that, content creation could actually reshape, how will I put it, traditional employment policies? Because yes, we have unemployment and now we have content creations, and it seems like a whole lot of the youths are going into this. Do you think that is somehow bridging the gap of unemployment?
Well, I won't say bridging the gap for unemployment. It's just opening up another sector. And people are gainfully employed, enough to put food on their tables and see themselves through school. So it's another sector that has opened up.
Yes.
Now, how is government going to make sure that that sector flourishes? This is what I should be looking at and thinking, okay, good. If I'm in the government, okay, how can I make this sector flourish? The government has come up some 2-3 months ago, and they had a whole lot of meeting with content creators and people in the digital space. But now the question I will be asking is, those particular meetings, is it to grow that sector or is it for political inclinations? These are questions we should be asking. Because if we are able to grow each of these economies, you imagine what we are bringing in. Now we also have the entertainment that has been privately driven for as long as I can remember. Government came in, BOI came in, BOI stepped out. Some private initiative came in, they are stepping out. So how can we grow these various economies? That way we will keep people not just busy, but bring in the necessary effects into this country. Every YouTube creator that is making money, not everybody that is posting is making money. Everyone that is making money in FX, not in Naira. Let that sink in. So if we can double what we are doing right now, give them more opportunities, make sure that the network in our various cities is better than what it is right now. Make sure that it's not just about network, the pricing also.
Do you think that government should excuse me, partner with some of these social media platform owners? I mean, Facebook, YouTube, and the rest of that. I remember there was a time Facebook, we thought Facebook was, but it was the headquarters, one of the annex was was later installed in Ghana. And it was quite sad. We thought we would get something in Nigeria. Do you see that in the nearest future?
Nobody gets anything. Nothing is given to you. You go for it. So government should stop seeing, what's it called, social media platforms or micromedia platforms as enemy to growth because of the information that people can always push out there. This is where we need to separate government, politics from governance. That has always been the issue. So you have your minors everywhere. Whatever information they see that is not favorable to you, everybody attacks, and that is how you see those particular platforms.
Yes.
We forget that those particular platforms are raking in millions for other nations.
Yes.
So please, this administration, you have very brilliant people around you. Let's have that mind shift. You imagine what Europe is making off Facebook. These are things we need to start asking ourselves. This is 2-point-something billion. Some nations are making that from tax alone from these micromedia organizations. So that is where we should start looking. Aside content creation, let's be able to attract these social media platforms within our space. Then what stops us from even developing our own?
I'm also looking at, do you think, I remember there was this particular content creator who had an interview. He was asked how much he was making, and I think a week after that, the Lagos state government slammed him with some sort of fee, and he came out to say, oh, I'm not making that amount. So do you think that these content creators, because before YouTube would pay you, they would deduct their own. probably tax and the rest of them. So how do you think the government can come in terms of tax? Because sometimes, so it won't lead to double taxation. Sometimes, most of these times, the tax is being deducted from the source. So what gets to you is your take home. And now you're being taxed in Nigeria for your take home again. Isn't that double taxation? How can the government, solve this?
Okay, now for YouTube, you don't pay tax of YouTube if you're not in the US or
Okay.
they don't do those calculations. All of the above. Now you pay charges. There is a sharing formula. You pay charges for certain things. You pay if you use someone else's content, if there are any kind of infringement and you have to pay some surcharge, you pay what is left for you after your calculation is paid to you. How you now take your money or withdraw your money is left for you. Now, if you see, for a lot of platforms outside this country, for those outside this country, it's embedded in those platforms, your tax for those countries. So they can help you calculate it. They can't deduct from source, or they might just calculate it and keep it aside. Which means when you're now doing your tax returns, you just do that. Now, same thing happens to trading platforms outside this country. They deduct the tax or they calculate it for you. It's embedded in those platforms. Now, this is where we now need to grow as a people. Nigeria, how can we now take advantage of the production that we have assisted, though? Not where you didn't plant, you want to go and collect tax. I am not an advocate of that. For platforms and production and creators that you have created an enabling environment for them to thrive, it's easier for them to pay tax. When there are different sources for you to get that, come consult us on SOUQ News and we'll give you that. But hey, they will happily pay tax knowing fully well that the government is in support of the sector. That won't be an issue.
So how will we be able to sieve those that have benefited from Nigeria, from the country, and those that, like you said, going to reap where you did not sow?
It's not difficult. Tomorrow, if government says, Airtel, your service in Abuja is bad, fix it. And they do. Have I not gotten the better service?
Definitely.
If they say, MTN, your marks in so and so place, it was vandalized. Okay, we'll make sure it doesn't happen anymore. We'll provide enough security. I don't know if you understand. Now, if they say, okay, good, let's tackle power so that this network providers will stop burning diesel. 50% increase in revenue, in what people are paying. Okay, it's not going to increase anymore. Let's see how we can cut down your production cost. So these are things that government on their side will do, and the service becomes better and cheaper for anybody. So it's, at the end of the day, is ability to produce content and put them on the net. And whoever is going to consume will also need that same net to consume, to buy, to sell, to download.
All right, let's quickly take the last story. We'll quickly run through it. The European Union has announced another one-year delay in the rollout of its anti-deforestation law, which is designed to respect imports of commodities such as palm oil, soil, beef, and cocoa linked to forest destruction. The Environment Commissioner Jessica Roswell confirmed the decision, citing technical challenges in managing the heavy data load required for the new information technology system that will enforce compliance. The law, initially postponed once due to strong opposition from industry groups and trade partners, including Brazil, Indonesia, and the United States, is now set back further to allow adjustment. Roswell emphasized that the delay is not politically motivated, but rather a safeguard against potential disruptions to European businesses and with supply chains if the system is launched prematurely. She explained that the European Commission will engage with the European Parliament and member states to finalize the new timeline. The extended preparation period is expected to give industries time to adapt and regulators room to strengthen oversight, ensuring the law can effectively balance sustainability goals with trade and business continuity. Divisions could overshadow policy support. Chooks, let's have your take in less than a minute.
Okay, now for European businesses, They were very, very direct, even if they didn't say it. Okay, we can't do this because we need it. That is what it is. They will not stop this importation because they need it. They don't produce palm oil in Europe. It's straightforward.
Yes.
They don't produce cocoa in Europe. Now, what is the issue? Deforestation. Okay, they are cutting down forests to plant cocoa. They have to plant plantation or palm oil or whatever. But now, if you look at it, what are they getting? They are getting direct raw materials, direct primary raw materials, not processed materials. So where is it going to? It's going to Europe business producers, manufacturers. And what are they doing? They will add value and send it back to you. And now a particular climate change policy for sustainability is saying, no, don't buy those particular raw materials because of this. Business will always come first.
Business.
So if Europe is putting their own business interests first, Africa, please, learn.
Business will always come first. Africa, please learn to put your business first. Now, from plugging Africa's revenue leaks to digital creators powering new economies and global shifts in finance and trade, these stories show how interconnected business landscapes have become. The key question remains, how do we adapt policy, innovation, and investment to stay ahead? That's it for this edition of SOUQ Business Landscape. I am Olumide Shokoya. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, share, engage us. We will get back to you. Take care.
Thank you very much. Let's do this again tomorrow. And remember, there is no place like home. Be your neighbor's keeper. Have yourself a beautiful day.
Think like that because it's the mind that links to first of all the rebranding.
Lawmakers said it's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigerian content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
You think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations start looking at getting their staff involved in this market, why keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also let see something. This is SOUQ Business Landscape.